everybody, welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site, your destination for learning classic rock and pop songs on this lovely little 8-stringed instrument. My name is Mike DeJong, and we are looking at a classic mandolin rock song again. This one from the 1980s, 1986 to be precise. Steve Winwood's classic song, Back in the High Life Again. And this one won him a Grammy Award for Song and Album of the Year, or I think it was just Album of the Year. Anyway, it's a lot of fun to play on the mandolin and involves some easy chords, but also some slight variations of those chords that you might not have seen before. So that could add to your chordal vocabulary if you learn them. It's a really fun song to play along with. Steve Winwood's Back in the High Life Again, coming up here on RPM. But first, a little bit of business. If you are new here, thanks very much for checking us out. We really appreciate it, but don't forget to hit that little red subscriber button on the way out. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks so much for coming back once again. We really appreciate your support. But if you'd like to help us out a little bit more, there are a couple of things you can do. You can check out my new video lessons called Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin with Mike DeJong. Those are 16 lessons taking you right from the very start of beginning mandolin all the way up to intermediate level. Check out those lessons, video lessons. You can download them or access them for only $29.99, a really good deal, a great post-Christmas gift for everybody. Also, if you want to join our Patreon team, the link down below is there for you. Patreon is a great place for us to get together once a month and jam. You can also get some one-on-one lessons there from me if you like. Patreon.com, the link is down below. Close to our links for Amazon and Sweetwater affiliate products as well. Check those out too. Anyway, that's enough business for now. How about taking a look at Back in the High Life Again by Steve Winwood for mandolin here on RPM. Okay, Back in the High Life Again is in the key of D, and it utilizes some very familiar chords for you and some chords that may be a little unfamiliar. They are variations of those very easy chords and kind of cool. I haven't seen some of them before, so you may not have seen them either. They're really cool variations on the main chords. But the main chords start off like this, D to G. Just D, G, right in the introduction of the song, right? And then he does a little on the G. So what are those chords? Well, you know your basic D, right? Second fret here of the G, second fret of the E, and open in the middle, and then your basic G chord here, second fret of the A, and third fret of the E. So one, just like that, off the beginning. He does that 4 times off the beginning of the song. The first time through, he throws in this on the G chord. So he goes, it's kind of like a little chimey, ringing out thing. So it's just down, up, down, right? But rather quickly. So like that, okay? Down, up, down. So, and then right at the end, before going back to the D again, he throws in a, and that's a cool little D lick, or a run in the key of D. And all of the licks I'm going to show you in this song are from the key of D. So anything from the key of D, any scale pattern will work over this song. And I might point out now, too, that, you know, I've seen Steve Winwood do this song several times. I've watched several of his videos on YouTube and listened to the original track. He plays it differently every time. In fact, some of the songs are even in different keys, or some of the versions are in different keys. So the runs I'm going to show you here are based on the runs from the song, the original track. But don't be surprised if you check out a Steve Winwood video and see him playing something slightly different. He's just utilizing notes from the key of D. You can't go wrong by playing scale patterns or little runs from the key of D, all right? So the first one, so that's 5, 4, 2, open on the A, and just played very quickly, right? Just like that. Right? Just like that, okay? And then the second time, he does that again, but then he does like that. Okay, so what's that? Well, that again, that's on the A string, utilizing those notes from the D as I showed you. And you've got the 4th fret and the 5th fret there. A little sort of hammer-on note there. I'm just picking that 4th fret and then I'm catching that one, the 5th fret, with my 3rd finger, like that. And then I'm going 4, 5, 4, 2, open. Okay, so there's a little bit of a pause. Like that. Okay, so the first two. Okay, those are the first two licks at the beginning of the song. The third one is quite difficult for me to figure out. So I think he's just hammering those 2 notes there on the third one. So like that, okay? So that's 6th fret of the G, 7th fret of the G, with that open D as well. So kind of a bluegrassy thing there, right? Like that. So, all right? And then on the 4th one, off the intro, I hear him doing something like that. So I'm not sure if that's totally accurate, but it works because, again, these notes are from the key of D. So, and it's the same pattern as I just showed you on the A string. This time you're on the D string, right? So you're going 5, 4, 2, open, like that. So let's go. And those are all of the patterns from the beginning of the song, at least the way I hear them anyway. All right, and now the next part of the song is the verse, the main verses part of the song. So it goes... He just plays through that 4 times each time in the verses. And again, as I said before, these... he throws in some variations of chords that you might not have seen before. So here they are. Here's some of them. You got your D. You start off with the D. And then he goes to what is kind of a G chord. But it's actually a G sus chord. I think it's a G sus 2, if that makes sense. And basically what he's done there is he's just taking this finger off. Right? He's leaving the 3rd finger there on the 3rd fret of the E. And now he's playing all of those other strings open, like that. It gives you a really, there's the G chord, there's the sus chord. It gives you a bit of sort of a hanging quality to that chord. So he's going, right? And then he's doing something similar on an A chord now. So he's just taking this finger off, right? So now you've got 2nd fret of the G string, open, open, open. So Steve Winwood is utilizing a lot of open strings with the verse patterns here. I'll show you them again. Ready? You hear that? It's got a really nice hanging quality to those chords, all right? Very simple. So D to a G sus, and then D to an A sus, all right? And the strumming pattern is... So it's down, up, down. So... Okay, and... like that all throughout the verses in the song. Okay, now we're on to the choruses. I guess the first part of the chorus goes back in the high life. Okay, so here again he's doing a D, back in the high life. Now here you have another version of an A chord, and this is an A7 sus chord now, okay, because you're leaving the G, this string, open, okay? That is the 7th of an A scale. So you're going D chord, back in the high life. All right, so what is that chord? Well, A7 sus 4, I think it is. All you're doing is putting your finger down here on the 2nd fret of the D string. That's it, And you're playing everything else open. So back in the high life again. And then to a regular G chord, D to G. All right, and the pattern is back in the high life again. Okay, so a little bit different on the strumming pattern from the verses, right? Like that, okay? So here we go. Back in the high life again. D, A sus, A7 sus chord again in there, right? So he's just using those three chords like that pattern. So the high life again. A sus, A7 sus. And the first part through the chorus, he goes back to the A7 sus and then back in the high life again. And he ends the choruses with a D sus. Lots of sus chords in this song for you, right? So that's just 3 to 2. So off the D chord, you're just putting your pinky in like that. So one more time through the chorus. Back in the high life again. Back in the high life again. Like that. Those are the choruses for the song. All right, now we move on to kind of a funky little part that comes after the choruses. It goes... All right, so what is that? Well, you're going to a G chord now. A chord, D chord, G chord, D chord, back in the high life again. All right, back to that A7 sus chord. So G chord, and you want to try to really make this staccato-like, right? Really choppy here. So what I'm doing is I'm utilizing these fingers here to sort of deaden the notes after I hit the chord. You see that? So the strumming pattern is... Okay, so let's try those chords again. So that's G chord, D chord, A, regular A chord now, so second fret, right here. That's a regular A chord. So G chord, D chord, A, back to D, G chord, D chord. Now that A7 sus4 chord again, which is just the second fret of the D string, back in the high life again, right? And that is kind of the funky little part that comes before they go back into the verses again. All right, now there's a funky little bridge part in the song that goes... All right, so what are those? Well, you've got a D to a G chord, right? D to a G. Then I'm doing F to B flat. All right, F chord here, the 5th fret of the G, 3rd fret of the D, open A, 1st fret of your E, to a B flat chord. All right, so I'm barring this one here at the 3rd fret with my 1st finger here, 3rd fret, and then I'm pulling my 3rd finger here to the 5th right there, the 5th of the A, so 3rd fret, 5th. Okay, so... And then again, finally you're going here, which is a D sharp chord down to a C chord. All right, so that same configuration, the same sort of finger pattern here from the B flat, just move it up to the 5th, 6th, 7th, to the 8th fret here now. So 8th fret, 10th fret on the A, that's a D flat chord, or sorry, that's a D sharp chord. and then move that down 3 frets to there, to the 5th, and the 7th gives you an A. Now, those are the chords, all right? So D to G, D to G, and then F to B flat, F to B flat, D sharp to C, D sharp to C. Now, those are the chords that are being played, but what Steve Winwood does on the mandolin is he just kind of does a... He's just playing one note over those chords. So he's going... So just play this note. After you go D to G, F to B flat, you can just pull in that note there, that D note again. 5th fret of your A string, right? And you might even do the 2 Ds there together, open D and high D. So you're going... Right, and then F to B flat. And then you're going up like this. Even though the chord pattern is going down, he's going from that F note here, right, which is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th fret of your A string to the 10th fret of your A string. So it goes like this. It goes... Something like that. So again, something to that effect. Listen to the song while you're playing along with it, and you'll hear the exact notes and the exact timing of those notes. But those work really nicely over those chords, like that, and then in the bridge of the song. Okay, finally, I wanted to show you some of the licks that you might be able to utilize over the. Those are a couple of really cool licks that he puts in kind of the second time through in the song when he does that pause from the D to the G. All right, so he goes. Then. All right, and then you put in some other licks as well. But those two he definitely does play. So what are they? Well, you're going D to G. So open A, 5, 4, 2, open. So like that. Open, 2, open, and then 5, 4, 2, open. On the D string. So one more time, I'll do it slowly. Like that. Did you get that? So one more time. Open, 5, 4, 2, open, 2. Down to the next string, 5, 4, 2, open. So it's the same 5, 4, 2, open on both of those strings, are notes from the D scale. So, right? Then the next time he does something really cool. He kind of just makes up his own chord there, I think, but he's going so. Like that, okay? So he's going from the 2nd fret now of the E string, 2nd open 5, and then 4, 5, same pattern again, 4, 5, 4, 2, open. Like that, all right? That's the second pattern that comes when he's doing this little pause part during kind of the middle of the song. Through the rest of the song, you can put in some... You can, again, like I said before, you can... Any of those notes from the D scale, you can put in, so... Right, so if you learn your D scale, you can definitely get some notes to throw into the song that sound good over the pattern that Steve Winwood is doing. All right, that's it. That is the song for you. Back in the High Life Again by Steve Winwood. Hope it wasn't too confusing. It can be a little difficult with some of those little runs in D, but again, if you stick to the scales, the D scales, you can't go wrong in this song. All of those patterns come out of the D scale. And by the way, if you want to learn more about scales and chords, I have a whole lesson on those in my Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin Lessons series with Mike DeJong. The video link, or the link to the videos, is down below. So if you really want to explore that, learning chords and scales more in depth, check out that lesson series. Anyway, that's enough for this video. Thanks very much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget to hit that subscriber button if you are new here. Check out our other links down below as well. My name is Mike DeJong. Thanks for watching RPM.